Hey everyone, today we're gonna talk about K-means algorithm. It is one of the most popular and powerful methods for unsupervised learning. So the pretext with K-means is that you have unlabeled data and you want to cluster them into certain groups. So let's say we have this data and we have certain samples. And we want to group them into clusters. At this moment, we don't know anything about this data. All we know that these are the samples which have been pulled up. So how do we cluster them? So how K-means works is first we choose two centroids. Since we want to cluster them into two groups, we will choose two centroids. We can choose them randomly. Let's just say we chose these two ones. So once we have chosen our centroids, so there are essentially two steps in K-means clustering. In the first step, what we do is we assign each sample points to a centroid. So how do we do that? So what do we do is we calculate the distance of each sample point from each of these centroids, and we assign the sample to the centroid which is closer to this data point. So this data point is going to be assigned to this centroid. Similarly, we're going to do this for this one. So this is again going to be assigned to this centroid. So this is how we are going to go on for each sample. We are going to assign it to one of the two centroids. So this is how our sample is going to look like after the first step. And so let's just probably these three dots as well. And all these are going to be assigned to the green dots. So this was the first step. So after the first step, what we do is we move the centroids. So the second step is move the centroid. So what we would do is we'll calculate the average of all the data points which have been assigned to one particular centroid. So we'll take all these data points and we'll calculate the average of all these ones. And so I missed another centroid. So the average is gonna be somewhere around here. And sorry, let's just say we had 4 points here. And the average of these data points are gonna be somewhere around here. So after we have completed these steps for the first time, in the next iteration, what we are gonna do is we're gonna perform these two steps again. So we take each data points and calculate the distance from the two centroids and assign each data point to the centroid which is closer. So as you can see, all the data points in here are gonna be closer to this centroid than this, and all the data points in here are gonna be closer to this centroid. So we're gonna do the reassignment. So all these data points, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, are going to be assigned to this centroid, and all these data points are going to be assigned to 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3 are going to be assigned to this. And so the second step in this iteration would be taking the average of all the data points which have been assigned to one particular centroid. So the average of this might be somewhere here, and the average of this cluster is gonna be somewhere here. So there you see, you get two clusters, one of them here and the other one right here. So that's the K-means clustering algorithm. theoretically. Now we're gonna see how this clustering algorithm works exactly. So you, as an input, you have these data points x1, x2, xm, and you want to cluster them into, say, k groups. And how your algorithm works is this. You start by, there are two steps. So for, say, iteration, IT, there are two steps. And the first step, you assign each of this x of I, that's the data point, to one of the centroids, assigned to tth centroid, where t belongs to 1 to k. This is the first step. And the second step, what we're going to do is, we're going to take the average of all the x's which belong to each of these k centroids. So for j equals 1 through k, we're going to see k, which is the centroid, cj is going to be sigma of x, which belong to jth centroid, xj, say m, yeah, and it's gonna be average 1 by m. So this is the k-means algorithm. You start, it's an iterative algorithm. First you assign each data point to one of the k centroids, and then you take the average of all the data points which have been assigned to the jth centroid, and you keep iterating it until your centroid doesn't move as much. So this is one of the most popular and powerful algorithm to cluster. This is the most vanilla k-means algorithm that we have discussed. There has been many improvements upon this, but to keep the scope of the class discussion shorter, we're gonna end here. So hope you learned something from it. Thank you and have a good day.